Okay, so let's start a podcast.
I think so. It's a podcast.
Something like that. The table is vibrating still.
That is.
It's so weird.
It's like we're doing a dubstep version of a podcast.
Wow. Something like that, anyway. Yeah. So hi everyone. We're going to try this one with a video podcast. So we've got 3 cameras going. We've got this one here. We've got the one wide one from here. Hello, and then the one that's facing Paul. So hi, Paul.
Hi.
There we go. But what Paul doesn't realise, he's probably going to edit this one. No, he's not. I'll edit this one, don't we? We do find that when we're fighting over what to edit, I tend to push too much towards Paul to edit.
I know. Well, it depends what I've got on at the time, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So we're recording this like mid-afternoon, so the courtyard's still closing up, so you can still hear some people in the background sort of nattering away. Yeah. I have noticed though that like on Wednesdays and Thursdays when it's just the courtyard that's open, there always seems to be one family with a child that screams constantly.
I think the worst one really when it comes to kids screaming is the ones that do it intermittently. So it's not just one big scream and it's done with. No, it's all the time.
It's constant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It drives me mad.
It drives me pretty mental.
That's why there's no children now.
Oh dear. Yeah. So Paul, you wanted to start a topic with this podcast.
Yes, I've been having a rant internally with myself, and it's this conception or misconception that what constitutes a real job is somebody who goes out and grafts and gets mucky and oily. Where it comes to us,
switching the microphone again.
Where it comes to us, who are classed as button pushers. All we do is press a button and that's it, and that means that we haven't got a real job.
Yeah,
and that kind of bugs me a lot.
It grinds your gears.
It grinds my gears.
Grinds your gears. But no, I mean that's the thing that I've found like over the last several months of doing this job. Essentially, the amount of people that have sort of said to me, I'd love to have your job, etc. Which is always nice to have, without a doubt. But at the same time, the amount of times that people come up to me going, but why should I pay you that? Why should I? And I'm thinking, but it's my job. It's like, yeah, but it's not a real job, is it? I mean, what's the definition between real job and what we do? We provide a service, you pay us. There you go. That's the service.
That's right.
But it's like people who are employed. You go to work, you do what you're supposed to do, and you get paid for it for doing that job. So where does the line change?
And I suppose it's not really sort of limited to what we do. It's about people who like work in an office can be classed as not having a real job because it's not out there being all gritty and manly, and that's not a real job. This is a real job.
Real jobs in the builder's yard.
Yeah, and I don't get why people have to think like that.
I'm gonna go to the garage and saw a bit of wood in half.
And yet, when you try to say, well, if you did or knew the skills behind what we have to do, it's not just pressing a button. There's a lot to that.
Well, there's the thing. The difficult thing is, especially when I've been trying to work out the prices for the work that we do. I've always found that you've got to take into consideration it's not just what you're doing there and then. Mm-hmm. It's the years of experience, the years of training, and your education on top of that. Now, the thing is, when you look on real jobs, employed positions, you find that that people are paid a higher salary depending on their level of experience. Mm-hmm. So why should that be different to people who are self-employed? If you're better at a skill, you should be able to charge more, and people shouldn't bat an eyelid because if you were experienced in your field, which you are, but I'm saying like if you was a builder or something, but you was a really experienced builder and you can actually project manage, you'd want to be on a really decent salary because of all the skills that you've learned over the time. So when it comes to self-employed stuff, why is it harder for people to accept it? But saying that though, when it comes to trade stuff like welding, plumbing, electricians, things like that, that's just accepted. Yeah. Oh, that's your rate. Okay, yeah, no problem.
Yeah. But it's more of a it's an expensive job, but it's like you say, it's just well, that's fine then. It'll have to be that much.
Yeah. And it's the concept of, well, I know we're repeating ourselves here, but of well, you just push a button. But it's a I've got one of these cameras.
Yeah,
I went and
Uncle
bought one.
Knobhead can do this.
Yeah, I went and bought this from Curry's, and it only cost me £150. So why are you asking for so much money? And it's like, well, okay, well, you go and film. That's fine.
Yeah.
And I have done that in the past. I have turned away clients because they've said that were too expensive and that they'd rather go film it themselves. And I've had it in the back of my head going, you'll be back, you know.
Yeah.
And literally about a week later, they've come back and gone, oh yeah, we tried to film it and it didn't go as well as we thought. We really want your skills. And it's like, and I don't mean it in a real smug way, but it's just that one thing going, yeah, I know. That's why we charge what we charge.
Yeah.
Because we are good at what we do. Of course we're good at what we do. Otherwise we wouldn't be doing it as a job, you know. But at the same time, it's like, you can't just assume that you can just pick it up and do it. It's like, just pick up an instrument. Well, yeah, I can play guitar. Oh yeah, I could do that. Yeah, go try it.
Yeah.
You know, when I look at Folds, when he picks up a guitar and he's like, yeah, I can do that. And I look at it and go, well, I'll strum a few strings, and I'm like, I don't. Well,
why does it not sound as good?
Why does it not work for me? What's going on? You know, I'm very much like Lister from Red Dwarf. You know, I think I really sound good, but when they play me back, I'm like, oh, that's awful. Yeah.
But yeah, it just bothers me, and I don't mind like having a laugh and joke about it. You know, some people I hang around with, it's more of a comedy thing. I just sit there sometimes and just think about why does this job not class as it's a job? Yeah. It's an income. It's providing money.
It's using the skills that you developed over time to actually, you know, to provide yourself a career with.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, just where is the line between job and not a job?
I'd say
real job, rather.
Another thing as well, which I think it's more in this country than others, and the people who want to start up their own businesses always get hit with that. Oh, it's hard work. I wouldn't do that. Don't start your own business. You'll be working every hour in the day. And but yet in other countries, I would say that in America, somebody wants to set up their own business, so it's like, oh, well done. You know, go for it. Give it a good go.
Yeah.
And I had that when I made the decision that I was going to do this for a living, and I had that where people were saying, "Oh, you know, you'll be working all the hours and but that's what I want to do."
Yeah,
that's I want to do that,
yeah.
and that's fine. And I would have hated to have started this. I would never have got here. I would never have been sat here talking to you now,
ranting about it.
if I hadn't have done something, and at least, you know, if all else failed now, at least I gave it a go, and I tried something like that. And there's a lot to be said for people. I have the utmost respect for anybody who wants to be self-employed.
Yeah. That's it. It is a difficult decision. Now, the thing is like, when you take a real job compared to ours,
guru manly stuff.
Yeah, guru manly stuff, you know, is that, yeah, you set your own hours, but that's what makes it harder. When people say, oh, it's difficult, it's a sign of learning your own discipline, of actually being able to get up and do it. And yeah, there are days where I've woken up at 1 o'clock in the afternoon and gone, oh shit, you know, I've missed half the day.
Work.
I haven't done work today, you know.
I haven't done business.
And I haven't done business. Business. But I just, trying to focus on a task and getting it done in your own time is so difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And it has a lot. You need a lot. You need a hell of a lot of, what the hell?
I think they're trying to escape.
My chair is really creaky.
The young one's trying to escape. The children
it.
are escaping.
That's it. Keep them locked away. But to actually focus on a project and actually get it done and get motivated to do that. Now, if you was in a real job, you know, even if you're a project manager, you're being paid. So you've got that comfort. So you've got that focus of actually working. The same is for being self-employed. If you don't do the work, you're not going to get paid. But I think that on it as well is more pressure for you to actually do more work. But at the same time, there's that draw that you're working 100 hours a week, and then you barely walk away with like 20 quid, you know, and it's exhausting at times. But then when it flips round and suddenly, you know, you're being paid thousands, for a short period amount of work, then people are going, well, you're being paid far too much. And it's like, well, just look at the last 18 months of this business. It's only recently this business is finally starting to get into the black. And it's great, but it's an 18 months of a long struggle. If you look at my working hours over the last 18 months, it's mental, absolutely mental, the amount of hours that I put in for very, very little money. And I'm still not paying myself a salary. I'm still not on the payroll.
What is a salary?
Yeah, what is that?
What is minimum wage?
But,
sorry, new living wage.
That's it. But that's the other thing, isn't it? I mean, especially when it comes to sole trader stuff as well. That you look at the fact of you're getting all this money in. Like when somebody pays you, say, £1,000 for a job or something, and like, oh well, we pay you. That's a lot of money for your pocket. It's like, pocket? Oh, I'm sorry. You think that I'm going to go out and spend? I'm going to go to the Bahamas for a bit. Is that what I'm going to do? No. It's like my last job was a really, really big job, and I got a big, massive paycheck for it, and I was really, really happy for it. Now, the thing is, it was nice to have when I woke up in the morning, looked at my bank balance, and went, oh my God, I've never been this rich. By 12 o'clock that day, I was back to zero again, and it was like, and it just went back on paying bills, paying stuff that I had backing up in arrears and things like that, and it's just balanced itself out. But for one moment in my life, I was uber rich.
I had this image of you going to the tailor's and getting this 3-piece suit and the top hat and walking down the streets with the cane, like hitting all the
urchins,
all the other people.
Look at you employed people.
Yes.
You have a normal job.
That should be a quote. We'll put a quote at the bottom right here saying, just because you're self-employed doesn't mean you have big pockets.
Oh no, I've got big pockets, they're just empty.
Yeah, they're empty.
They're filled with debt receipts, debt letters, bailiff numbers.
So the misconception is you haven't got a real job, but you must have lots of money doing that real job.
Yeah. Yeah. Like if you're an accountant, for example, you'll be asking businesses for money, other businesses for money, and what have you, passing invoice and stuff like that. How is that different when it's a sole trader?
If anything, I think working for yourself is much more of a risky job than a real job, purely for the fact that if you're ill and decide to take a day off work, your whole business relies on that.
Yeah.
If you take a day off in a real job, the business still carries on, or it's a man down.
There's always someone to find cover for.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. When you're on your own, that's it.
Yeah.
And I embrace that. I love it. I wouldn't change this. I would hate being in a real job now.
Oh, I can't do it. There's no way. I've kind of had that thought in the back of my head going, oh, it'd be nice to just have a regular income. That would be...
And not have to worry about anything.
And then I look at what I do for a living and I'm like, you know what? I'd rather be skint.
Yeah.
I'd rather be skint.
That's it.
Because this is my real job.
There we go. Real job.
Real job. So that's it. That's we'll wind that one.
Topic one.
We'll wind up this podcast since Paul now is going to try and destroy everything because I've just seen the waveform and this just goes through the roof.
Oops.
Cheers, Paul. Yeah. So hopefully you've seen some enlightenment to our rants.
Yes.
It's not really a negative rant. It's just more or less just gripes of. I mean, at the end of the day, the biggest question out of all of this is what would you consider a real job when it comes to self-employed or being employed, or even if you like volunteering, at a charity place or something like that. Where does a real job come in? Mm-hmm. So that's the question to you guys. Leave your comments down below, share this video and what have you, and we'll see you next time.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah.